Think about what kind of kid you want to be.
This is Brycen,
And Riley.
back with another episode of Goats in the Making, where we talk about game-changing stories of life, sports, and faith.
On today's episode, we are excited to introduce you to Matt Graifer, known as the Young Professor. Matt is a big deal in the world of sports entertainment, but not in the way you would normally see. He has taken normal sports entertainment and elevated it into a whole new experience. He started his career as a college professor in exercise science at the age of 25, but then something cool happened. He started hosting trivia nights and realized he really loved being in front of people and performing.
In 2021, Matt joined the Savannah Bananas as a guest announcer, and the crowd loved him. By 2022, he was on the team for good, bringing tons of energy and fun as the Chief Potassium Enthusiast. Yep, that's his official title. His job is to get the crowd pumped up, introduce funny skits, and make sure every game is awesome for fans. When he is not at the games, Matt lives in Central Florida with his wife, Shanna, and their kids.
Are there any other things our guests should know about you?
Man, I think you guys really nailed it. I thought it was kind of funny because you said I was a college teacher and then something cool happened and then I started teaching trivia. I started hosting trivia, which is true, but I hosted trivia because I lost my job, which like that wasn't something cool that happened. But because that happened, I took an opportunity to do something else, which led to completely changing my life around. So you just never know. Sometimes things in life that go what you think at the time are really wrong, or you're in a bad situation. Sometimes, whether it's God or just the circumstances that you have in front of you, you are right where you're supposed to be. You might not be able to see it in that moment, but keep doing what you're supposed to do, do the right things, keep working hard, keep pushing forward, and boy, you never know. It could really land to some very, very cool things down the road.
We're excited to talk about how your journey was with, so first being a college professor and then coming to the Bananas organization as a speaker.
Well, I will say this. I think the hardest thing I ever did was when I started being a college professor because, like you guys said, I was 25 years old. I was only like a little less than 2 years out of college. I was a single dad at the time, and I didn't know even the stuff I was supposed to teach. I got an offer to do it and I said yes. And so that's when the work really began because I knew there were a lot of people that were counting on me that were looking to me to provide a good education and know what I'm talking about and be knowledgeable and help them in their career pursuits. And that was something I took very seriously. And so just because I didn't know it when I started doesn't mean I couldn't know it. And I mean, I worked so hard to study and just be good and learn and just stay at least a couple of days ahead of my students so that I could give them what they needed. And all the while, I was teaching classes in a non-traditional format. And so I was teaching for 5 hours straight a night for 4 nights a week. So from 5 to 10 p.m., Monday through Thursday, I was teaching one class at a time. And so I learned very quickly how to really hold an audience and how to get creative and how to use time to my advantage. And it was very, very difficult for a long time. But those years, as hard as they were, they helped me so much because later, when I started working in entertainment, I had worked through a lot of really difficult things just in the classroom because I was in such a unique situation. So even though I don't have an entertainment background, that's not what I went to school for. I wasn't in theater when I was in high school. I didn't learn things that way. I went a different path that taught me so much and that helped me to get into a position where the Bananas, who are the absolute best when it comes to entertainment, and I think they were even when I was starting a few years ago, and before everyone knew them, I just saw just how good they were in the world of entertainment. I think all of that experience that I had put me in a great position so that I would be considered to be there.
We like to start off by getting to know our guests with a few this or that and rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Let's go. Let's see what you guys have for me.
You like superheroes or
Okay.
villains?
Ooh, I'm gonna say villains, but because I think a good villain makes a good hero better. Batman's not as cool if there's no Joker. Superman's not as cool if there's no Lex Luthor. If you beat a bunch of nobodies, then you're nobody. But if you beat somebody, then you're somebody.
Do you like planes or road trips better?
Road trips. Love driving. I would prefer to drive a lot of places. Planes are convenient, faster, but I like getting time on the road.
Me too. Planned or spontaneous?
I walk right in the middle of both. That's a hard question because certain thing I very much like to plan when and where I can, but I really love the freedom of just going off the cuff and spontaneous. So I'm gonna have to go 50-50 on that.
What is your favorite Dalton Malden song?
Ooh, I like Cherry Lime a lot. Cherry Lime is probably my favorite Dalton Malden song. It's a banger. It's a good one.
Mm. Mine too.
Same.
A lot of people actually surprisingly say that.
Really?
Yeah.
A
Limes.
lot of our players and stuff.
Yeah.
A couple other people. A lot of people, like a couple people also said Sweet Like Honey. That's another popular one, but
It's really
yeah.
good.
See, I don't know, Cherry Lime I like because but maybe it's because I don't hear it that much. I've heard him sing Sweet Like Honey a lot this year, and it's a good song, but I've heard it a lot. But Cherry Lime is one that this year in particular I didn't get to hear that often. Like when it comes on, I'm like, yeah, there we go. That's the one.
Yeah.
Summer or winter?
I live in Florida, so it's always summer here. We have a week of winter. I don't know. I guess I would say summer. Even though I hate being hot, but I've accepted that as my fate. So we'll say summer.
I love
Yeah.
being.
Yeah, me being on the south side of Florida, I can agree.
It's always hot.
What's the best cake flavor?
Oh man, my wife is a baker in her spare time, and she makes this lemon cake that is fire with this lavender frosting that is unbelievable. So I probably have to go with that.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Me,
Mornings are for the birds, and I am no bird.
me neither.
Me no party animal. Sweet or salty?
Salty. I like savory foods better than sweet foods.
Mm.
I don't need an ice cream bar. Give me a nacho bar. That's where I need to be.
Favorite stadium you've entertained in?
Ooh, it's a toss-up between Fenway Park and Citizens Bank Park in Philly. Fenway Park for obvious reasons, just because of the history and just how awesome it is and has always been and how cool it just was to be there. That is really high up there. But Citizens Bank Park, I went to college like 20 minutes away from there, and Philly fans are really crazy and really loud and really excited and very passionate. And I think that was the best crowd we had the whole year was in Philly. And so I really have a soft spot for that particular show. So I loved that by being there. But Fenway is Fenway. So I got to give the tie to both of those.
I went to Fenway. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was incredible.
This might just be me, but I like the Savannah games because it's like less packed and you get like more of the experience. That's like what's really cool about it.
I like when people are just nuts and when they just can't wait. Because I think in Savannah, we do get a lot of people who have seen us a lot and they're still enjoying themselves. They still enjoy the game. And you can tell that, but they're not, it's not like when we go to a new city and it's like all new people who have never seen us before and they're super excited. It's the first time ever. And so that feeling that you get at those other places, I think I've seen has been better. There's only been a couple games this year in Savannah where I felt like we had that same energy. There's a lot of cool things I think to really like about Savannah games because it's smaller and the food is there and everybody's closer. But I think if you want better energy, it's cooler to come see us on the road.
Yeah.
I also am excited for Fort Myers next season because that's where I live.
That's going to be good. I'm excited I haven't been to Fort Myers. I haven't been to that stadium, but I used to work for the Tortugas and we used to play the Mighty Muscles. By the way, have a super cool logo and color scheme, like that muscle, and he's like making a muscle, and like the other one with like him and the other one, and they're arm wrestling. Super cool. So I'm excited to come out there.
We're going to move on and ask some questions about your entertaining journey.
Okay.
You're obviously the best dressed man in sports. Do you think that dressing better makes you feel better and then perform better?
100%. Do you guys know Coach Prime, Deion Sanders?
Yeah.
Okay, he's this really famous quote that I love because it's true. He said, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. If you play good, they pay good. And I think that is 100% true because I was an announcer and I was working and I was doing, I think, the same kind of job I was doing just as good as I do now when I was just wearing regular clothes. But as soon as I started dressing up more, like with the fancy tuxedos and stuff, everything changed. Like the way people looked at me, the way people responded to what I was doing, the amount of people that wanted to hire me for things, it all changed almost overnight, it felt like. So I think being well dressed and being really put together, huge difference maker.
In sports, sometimes things get really competitive. How do you help fans and players see that sportsmanship and teamwork are also important? That winning isn't everything. It's more about effort, teamwork, and enjoying the game.
Well, I think that's our whole mission with the bananas, and I think people see that. But I think people also like the competitiveness. I think that's what makes the bananas so cool is because you've got this interesting balance where we are all about the show. Like our show is everything. And that, as me being on the entertainment team, and that's my sole focus, that I love that. But if there was no competition either, if there was nothing to kind of really root for with the bananas and the party animals or the firefighters or next year the tailgaters, like if you weren't rooting, I don't think the entertainment would make up for that, if that makes sense. Like people would be like, okay, who cares? You have to have a little bit of both. I just think there's a good way of doing it. My whole job, like I don't care if the bananas or the party animals win, or the bananas or the firefighters, or whichever teams are playing. I just want our show to be good, and I want our fans to leave feeling like they got a really great experience. And sometimes I think that comes from one team winning over the other. There were times this year where I was like, man, I really wish the party animals would win here because I think that's good for our sport. And if it's good for our sport, it's more entertaining, and then people want to see it. So I don't know that I have a direct impact on our fans of just like, hey, sportsmanship, but I bring the same, at least for what I can do, I bring the same kind of energy and excitement to the game, no matter what the scenario is. And so that's the role that I can fill and the part that I can play to make that, how everyone experiences our games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm a party animal. Bryson's a banana. We like each other's teams and all, but it's always like we're showing up to the thing and opposite things. So we're like, oh, you want the bananas to win, I want the party animals to win. But honestly, during the game, we're not even focused on it. We're just focusing on having fun because of how good you guys do at that stuff.
I mean, and that's how it should be. And just, if you want to root for whichever team, like we're cool with it no matter what. So I have 4 kids, and my daughter Lillian, she's 10. She is all party animals all the time. She won't even wear banana stuff anymore. She's like, no, pink only. That's all we're gonna do. It's just part. She loves talking to the players, and she loves that they know who she is. Like, she's all about it. But she also knows, when she gets to the game, yeah, she's rooting for the party animals, but just like you guys, she's there. She's there to have fun, and that's what we do better than anybody is make sure people have some fun.
Have you seen a change in how athletes and fans handle negativity or conflict in sports since Banana Bowl started? And how do you encourage fans to support their teams without being mean or disrespectful to other teams? And how can the way we talk about sports help change how people treat each other outside of the game?
Man, that is a really big, really heavy question. I think for us, I mean, we all we can do is set an example from within with what we do. And, for us, it is that sportsmanship. It is bringing the guys together. Now, that being said, and I mean, it's no secret. I mean, if you watch enough of our games, you see that sometimes our players are not always very happy with the outcome of the game. And if you're ever near the dugouts and watch and something happens, or if there's a late turnaround from one side to the other, our athletes are very much like any other competitive athlete. They come back very frustrated, visibly frustrated to the point where you're like, whoa, stay away from that guy maybe for a few minutes, let him calm down. But again, it's like I said, I think you need some of that. Like you need that fire, you need that fighting spirit, because if you're not going to care about it, like why does it matter? It actually goes back to what I said when you asked me about superheroes versus villains. Like I'm actually more of a superhero guy. Like, my favorite superhero is Superman. I love Superman. But Superman by himself, for a lot of people, they don't find him very interesting because he's overpowered. He's just super strong. He's got super breath. He's fast. He's got everything, right? So why do you want to root for that guy? Well, if you ever read and watch like Superman comics and really read those stories, Lex Luthor is literally the smartest man on earth. And he is able to work around all those strengths that Superman has. And he's pretty dastardly and pretty evil. And so he puts Superman in this position where even though he has all these things that you want to root for, you want to root for him even more because he doesn't always have an advantage over someone that is smarter than him. That rivalry, right? Some of that competitiveness between teams. So I'm talking superheroes. So you've got, your villains and heroes, but you could use that same analogy for sports, right? So I was coming up, I went to college near Philly. It was like Mets and Phillies. That's a big, important rivalry. Now, those fan bases are not really respectful to each other and very nice to each other. And that's not something that you like to see. Um, so I think for us as an organization with Banana Ball, because we own all of our teams and we do travel together and our guys really do care about each other's well-being, I think all we can do is set that example. I don't know that it's going to have major effects and major implications on everyone else across sports, but I do think we are affecting how people look at sports and how they're consuming it. And I don't think just in baseball, I think all sports industries are looking at what we are doing as an entertainment entity around a sport, and it's starting to affect how they present that to their audience. I just hope we can continue to have a positive effect on that and create positive change so that fans and families that are fans can come and they can have a really good experience no matter who they're rooting for, no matter what it is, because that should be what the experience is all about.
Yeah. My mom and my brother are diehard party animals, but me and my dad are bananas. So it's like a family rivalry, but still.
Well, Party Animals won the tour in 23, Bananas won it in 24, and we've got our first actual championship coming up in 25 with all four teams, and then a league the year after that. So things might get pretty interesting for all these Banana Ball teams.
Mm,
Yeah. Just a little fun fact. My favorite superhero is Superman too.
Nice. Very nice. My
I
son hates him, and I'm like, what do you mean you don't like him? He's more of a
fun,
Spider-Man and Batman guy. What are you gonna do?
fun fact, my favorite superhero is Reese Alexiadis.
Ah, there you go. Well, he likes Superman. So there it is. A superhero is only good as his best villain. If Batman beats the Joker, it makes you like Batman more because the Joker is formidable. If the Bananas just beat up on whatever team they were playing all the time, you think people would continue to root for them the way that you want them to? Probably not. Nobody wants a story where somebody just wins all the time. They like to see people overcoming adversity and defeating something that matters. That balance of sportsmanship, entertainment, true accomplishment, and good rivalry. I think that's the secret sauce.
Yeah. We've seen Banana Ball bring in some amazing guest players. Do you think announcers can help change the way people view athletes from different backgrounds or with different abilities?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think presentation is key on anything. And I'm obviously very passionate about announcing and how that part of the job is done. But I think a good announcer sometimes is not appreciated the way they should be because you kind of come to expect it. Because especially if you look in good places, they have good announcers and they always do their job, and it creates this good boost. But I think you would see. So think of, we had John Cena come out earlier this year, right? Imagine if John Cena came out and the announcer just came out and was like, and coming up to bat is John Cena. Is that as exciting? Does that get people as pumped? Like they'd probably still be pumped because he's got enough star power. But man, I started as a wrestling announcer. Like I love John Cena. Like I've been announcing wrestling for years. This is one of the best wrestlers who has ever lived. I went out there and I just went as big and as powerful as I could because that was going to help make it so much more. So I think that's what announcers can do. Announcers can kind of control people's emotions in a way to kind of like prep them and get them to feel something collectively all together. They just are a good facilitator for that. They can help kind of control all that energy in a way that's going to be getting everyone on the same page.
I went to that game when John Cena was there in Tampa. That game was fun.
I did
Dude,
too.
that's my career highlight of my life was that.
We actually didn't know each other.
Now you guys
Well,
met each other after that?
we knew about each other, but we
Yeah,
weren't the best friends of all time yet.
yeah.
Nice.
What is the most inspiring moment you've witnessed in sports?
Oh man. Most inspiring moment I've witnessed in sports? Oh, gosh. I think like everyone else, I kind of love a good either underdog story or really overcoming tremendous hardship story because I think those really make you like sports really maybe better in a way that's better than almost anything else can kind of tell that story. Like you guys are young. You ever watch Rocky? Boxing movie, Rocky. All right. Well, your moms are in the room. The professor's going to give you some homework, right? It's PG, so it's not crazy. It's age appropriate. But I think Rocky is like one of the great sports movies, and it's a very relatable story because Rocky Balboa, right? That's the main character. Nobody, essentially, right? Like he's a boxer, he's a local boxer in Philadelphia, and he just kind of does it for fun and he's good, but he never went anywhere, he never did anything, and he's a little bit older in the movie. And the champion, the heavyweight champion of the world, Apollo Creed, is getting ready. It's 1976. It's the 200th birthday of the United States, and he wants to put on this big event in Philadelphia because Philly is where America was essentially born. That's where our original capital was in Philadelphia. And he says, I want to fight a local guy and give them an opportunity and give them a chance to, so it's kind of this American dream thing. Like we're going to give somebody who's a boxer, they're qualified, but they're not really somebody a chance to maybe shock the world and be the heavyweight champion. And Rocky, no, spoiler alert, Rocky holds his own. He's able to last all 12 rounds against the champion. He loses by decision, but he kind of won because he was nobody expected. And that's such a cool story. And I think for anyone that's like striving to do anything, I kind of feel like that all the time because I don't come from a rich family. I don't even come from a nice area. Neither of my parents went to college. I didn't have any special connections. I even kind of started my life backwards. I started like a regular job first. I didn't chase this thing in entertainment. And now I'm in a position where I'm literally performing in some of the most iconic venues in the entire world. I'm performing with superstars. I mean, I mentioned John Cena, but you've got like Ryan Howard. We've had Roger Clemens come out, like guys that I've grown up watching, and I have to pinch myself sometimes because that's my life now. And I'm just a regular person. I'm an ordinary person is how I feel, and I'm getting to do these extraordinary things. And I don't want to say my own story is the most inspiring thing. But I think there's notes of my own life that I've seen in other people and that I've always been inspired by. I love stories. I can't think of any one in particular, but I just love stories of people who come from nothing and work really hard and get to the very, very top of what they do. And I think sports have a great way of showing that. And you see it a lot in the athletic field. And maybe I can set an example on the announcer side of somebody that just kind of went from nothing and gets to do stuff that's pretty cool now.
Yep. Great advice.
Keep working hard, guys. That's the
Yep.
secret. Learn when you make your mistakes, just learn your lessons. Learn it.
Yep.
Don't make the same mistake twice. Just keep going.
That's the secret to every sport.
Mm-hmm.
What new trends or ideas do you think are making baseball more fun or inclusive for everyone?
In all of baseball or in banana ball?
All of baseball.
I love to see that women are getting incorporated into the sport more now than they ever really have before. We're yet to see somebody kind of cross that threshold from like a playing standpoint, but you're seeing it in management and in coaching. I think that's really cool. I think baseball, I think they took this from us, but I think it's good ultimately. But I think some of the rule changes we've seen, especially in Major League Baseball and the minor leagues the last couple of years when it comes to larger bases and the pitch clock and things like that, I think those have really helped the game a lot. And I know a lot of people were against it, but I think speeding the game up works in everyone's interest because, kids like people your age, baseball doesn't necessarily appeal to kids your age and really people even older than you. Like we live in such a fast-paced world where we expect our entertainment to come quick and in little tiny like 15 seconds and jump cuts. I mean, I'm sure you guys watch, YouTube shorts and Instagram reels and you see all that stuff. That's how entertainment, it's like quick. It's bang, 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 bang. Baseball by nature is not a bang, 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 bang game. It's a game of patience. It's almost like a chess match playing out athletically. Now, that's interesting, but if it's not going to pull someone's attention right away, someone might not even know that. So I think baseball is making some changes to speed the game up, which makes it more interesting, which will attract more fans and bring them to this game that is really great, that is a wonderful game for people that they should love. So I think some of those changes are going to be helpful long term.
What's one thing you think fans can do at games to spread positivity in the sports world?
Be loud. Be loud, have fun, and don't be rude, but be loud, just let yourself go and just enjoy. Just forget about everything else and just live in that moment while you're there. That's my favorite thing about our games is I look around and I see thousands and thousands of people, and you know what nobody is doing? Nobody's on their phone. And if they are, they're recording something real quick and then they're getting right back. They're locked in. And how many things can you see in life anymore where people are not on their phones? The answer is almost nothing anymore. Like it's just people who are in the moment. They're enjoying themselves. They're forgetting about everything else in the world for at least a couple hours that they're spending with us. And I think that's the coolest thing. So I think if people just kind of lock into what they're doing at a sporting event and just have fun and spread that fun and that joy around them, that's I think what fans can do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the only time I ever saw someone with their phone out at a Bananas game is someone like recording dancing,
Hmm.
recording like their favorite player up to bat, or during yellow. Like those are the only times. It's like, but during the whole time, like of the whole game, they're probably
Yeah,
on their.
nobody's just sitting there scrolling or anything. Like if anything, they'll record some and they'll post it to their Instagram stories like real fast, and then they're looking around and stuff. It's really cool because, like I said, there's nothing anymore that's like that.
Yeah. Me and Riley at the games were always on our feet doing all the walk up dances.
And I bet you're not like that at a whole lot of other stuff in life, huh?
Yeah. Uh, Time for a little segment we like to call home run or strikeout. We're going to ask you a series of topics, and you're going to decide if they're home run or strikeout.
Got it.
Chocolate chip pancakes.
Home run.
Pineapple on pizza.
Home run.
Never tried
Why
it.
not? It's
I'm
good. It's worth trying. All right. It's worth trying. And if you don't like it now, try it in 10 years again. All right. Just
Andy Archer said he didn't like it.
no. And he spent a lot of time in Hawaii and they like that out
Yeah.
there.
I
Wow.
guess Andy's got to try it in 10 years.
Well, I will tell him when I see him, boo, that you are a hater on pineapple on pizza.
Socks with sandals.
Oh, strikeout.
Cooking.
Cooking
Yeah.
in general or for me personally?
In general.
In general, home run. For me personally, steer right three.
For me, it's like half and half because sometimes I want to just sit down and watch like videos or play MLB The Show. And sometimes when I'm bored and I have nothing to do, it's a home run.
Well, let me give you boys some good advice. Learn to cook and cook a lot. Because it's good. It's good to help your families around, and if you get married someday, it's good to help around the house. I'm not helpful in that regard at all, and I wish that I was, but I'm at the point now where like even doing it, it would take so long and then be so mediocre that it's really not even worth it. Like my mom didn't cook a lot when I was growing up. Like a lot of the stuff we ate was out of a box or out of a can, and so it was just kind of quick grab and go heat up stuff my whole life. So I never was really exposed to it. And I mean, I guess that's an excuse, but I just never got into it. And my wife loves to cook and she's really good at it and she does an amazing job. I love everything that she does. But, what would make me a better husband, a better partner, a better father would be if I did more of it. So if I could give you guys any advice, do that, learn it, because it's going to help you in life a lot.
I'm a grilled cheese master.
There you go. Yeah, I can burn jello, so I'm really not good in the kitchen.
Eating ice cream in winter.
Oh, home run. There's never a bad time for ice cream.
Cycle home run.
There is never a bad time to eat
Never,
ice cream.
Yeah.
ever, ever, ever.
Social media.
Oh man, again, loaded question. I'll say home run. I mean, that's kind of our whole bread and butter, and that's been my bread and butter personally. But there's a big downside to it too. There's a big
Yeah.
strikeout side. Yeah, I'd say in moderation.
Breakfast for dinner.
Dinner. Yeah, not a morning guy.
Okay. Before we end tonight, we want to give you an award based on what we love about you.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm curious to learn more.
We would want to give you the Educator of Enthusiasm Award for your electrifying energy and masterful command to of the show.
You are able to entertain by connecting with audiences and creating an engaging atmosphere. You take every opportunity to entertain and inspire thousands of fans in a way that has never been done. You show us to chase our passion and embrace new opportunities while thinking up ways to make things more exciting and better than it has ever been done before.
Well, thank you guys very, very much. That's very thoughtful, and I appreciate that. Brycen and Riley, thank you guys very, very much.
Thank
All
you.
right, time to flip the script. Do you have any questions for us?
I do, since I'm just getting to know you guys. So number one, how old are you guys?
10.
Yeah, I'm
And
10,
10. Okay,
almost
so
11.
you guys are my daughter's age, fifth grade.
Mhm.
Yeah.
When's the last time that you read a book for your own sake? Not that a teacher told you to read, for you. When's the last time you read a book?
I
Today.
like I like
I
reading. Yeah.
Good. That's a great answer. I'm happy to hear that. I mean, that's not the answer I was expecting, not just because it's YouTube, but just because of how old you are. Even trying to get my own kids to read is, pulling teeth around here. Never lose that, guys. That's one thing I will tell you. I think if there's anything that is the reason I'm in the position I'm in, is I'm a really good reader. And I always loved reading. And I read lots of books when I was a kid. I read lots of books as a teenager, as a young adult. Kind of went away for a while, and now I'm reading a lot of books again as an adult, and it keeps making me better and keeps making me learn. And I think that's an easy way to keep a competitive advantage over other kids your age in all things, because gives you good mastery of language and just understanding people and things in life that a lot of people might miss. And so make sure you guys keep reading books. And I don't even care what you read. If you want to read comic books, read comic books. Read whatever, but keep reading more and more. That's the best thing you can do. You will learn so much. And just read stuff you like. You know, reading doesn't have to be boring. A lot of people think it is because teachers make you read. But if you find the stuff you like, there's fun stuff to read. There's a lot of that. Okay, and I need another question. The holidays are coming up. What are your favorite holiday movies?
There's a bunch of good ones.
There's a bunch of good ones.
For Christmas, I like
Yeah.
Home Alone.
Okay.
Yeah, Home Alone.
I'd
Good.
go for Halloween, The Night Before Christmas,
Yeah, Halloween Night Before Christmas.
and
Wait,
then
for
Yeah.
for the Christmas movie, Elf, the funny one.
My kids are big Elf fans. They're big fans of Elf.
It's funny.
it's a good movie too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm more of a Christmas Story guy, the one with Ralphie and the BB gun and all that. Do you guys know that one?
I feel like
Yeah.
I've heard of something like it, but not like that exactly.
That's a good one. That they play 24 hours of it on like TBS or something on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So if you haven't checked it out, that's a good one. But you guys had some good picks there.
I
Yeah.
like I like movies that like are connected to books. If I read a book, I want to watch the movie of it. And if I read a movie of something, I want to watch the book.
Well,
yeah.
that's good. Get as much of it as you can. That's awesome.
The reason I got into reading was because of the Sunshine State thing they do. It's you read this book and then you take a test.
Did
And
you ever get to like where you got one of the big prizes at the end of the year? They do anything fun for you guys?
if you read 5 or more books, you get to go to this breakfast. It's Chick-fil-A. If you read 10, you get this medal. And if you read all 15, you get your picture with your favorite book.
I don't really like the SS like the Sunshine books because for me they're just not the type I read because I
Hmm.
don't like those type of books. Like I like books that are like long, cool chapter books that like have like I like books that have a cliffhanger ending, not some happy ending. I don't know. It leaves me like, oh, now I know that that's gonna happen probably, and then I like if there and then a second book comes out and I'm like, oh, I guess that's what happens.
Yeah.
When I was your guys' age, I loved Goosebumps. I at one point I think I was like because I was in fifth grade a long time ago. At that time, Goosebumps was just starting to get really popular. At one point, I think there were like 30 books out. There's a lot more now, but I think I had read all 30 of them and I loved them. So Goosebumps, and there was another series that I thought was so cool. It's called Animorphs. These kids like this alien comes to Earth and gives these kids this power because they're alien race. They're able anything that they are able to touch, then absorb like some energy, they're able to transform into that animal for a certain amount of time. And so it's this really cool book series. You probably can still find them somewhere. I don't know. I
I,
don't know if
I
that interests you, but Goosebumps books and Animorphs books, those were my jam when I was in like fifth and
Yeah.
sixth.
I had
Does your scary stories, like scary books? If she wants to read one of the Sunshine State books, I think the best one for her would be it's called The Cursed Moon. I think it's the scariest book on there.
Okay. I will pass that along.
it's not that scary though. I
Yeah.
read this one, but
My mom got scared.
so I picked in first grade. I picked up a Goosebumps book for the first time in my school library, and as soon as I was done reading it, I got scared because I was only in first grade at the time, and I was like, "Oh no, what's gonna happen?" Because I thought it was in real life. So I was like, "Oh no, now they're gonna come for me."
First grade might be a little too young for that, but fifth
Yeah.
grade, you're able to kind of make heads or tails out of it a little bit better.
It
Yeah.
it was because I have a high like reading level, and it said it was in my reading level, so I was like, "Oh, what is this?" And I picked it out.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Keep going above and beyond. That's always the way to go. Always. Never settle. Well, that's all the questions I got for you guys.
Okay. Before we sign off, what would be one thing you would want to tell your 10-year-old self?
Oh man, what was that kid doing? I would tell him, you know what? I wouldn't tell him anything. And the reason I wouldn't tell him anything is I want him to make all the mistakes that he made, and I want him to win everywhere that he won, because if he doesn't, then I'm not here the way I am. So I wouldn't change a thing. That doesn't mean it was all good. I wouldn't recommend everything that he did, but I wouldn't tell him anything, because if I did, you wouldn't get the guy that you have sitting here talking to you today.
Yep.
A huge thank you to the young professor, or Matt Graifer, for coming on the show tonight. We really appreciate you spending time with us.
Well, Riley, Brycen, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you guys so much.
This is Brycen.
And Riley,
Thank you for joining us for this episode, and until next time.
think about what kind of kid you want to be.